Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Careers and Employability and Alumni talk as part of the 3 days of Lancaster Digital Open event. I hope that you're all having an excellent experience so far and have found out lots of interesting things about Lancaster University. So I am just here today to open today's session and to introduce you to our presenters. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Sarah Fox, who is our Director of Employability. Sarah, if you want to say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And then we're also joined here today by two of our fantastic alumni, so graduates of Lancaster University, who are living, breathing examples of what a Lancaster degree and the support that we offer can do for you. Ioannis, if I can just ask you to introduce yourself briefly first.
Hello from Thessaloniki. My name is Ioannis Vaganov, and I was studying the master's degree of e-business innovation back in 2014.
Lovely, thank you, and thank you so much for joining us today. And then Chloe, if I can ask you to introduce yourself as well, please.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Chloe Themistocleus. I was a Lancaster graduate in 2010 and I studied law LLB.
Lovely. Thank you so much. So Sarah is going to deliver today's presentation, but with the support of Ioannis and Chloe, who can share their experiences and also tell you what they're doing now and where their career has taken them. We've also got Sophie, our student ambassador, in the chat, who's going to be fielding any questions that you might have. So please do pop your questions in there at any time, and they will be passed over to our presenters as and when suitable. So thank you very much. Without any further to do, I'm going to pass you over to Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah, and hello again, everybody. So, as Sarah just said, the format of this morning's career session will be I will give you a run through, an overview of what we offer specifically at Lancaster University, which I hope will offer some interest to everybody. And then at the end of the presentation, I will invite Ioannis and Chloe to share their experience of Lancaster and how they benefited from the careers and employability offer that we have here at the university. And then, as Sarah just said, please do either type your questions into the chat, which Sophie will keep an eye on, and then I'd be delighted, or Giannis and Chloe, to answer those at the end. Or if you'd rather wait to the end and ask the questions verbally, that's not a problem at all. So as the first slide said, my name's Sarah. I'm the Director of Employability, and that gives me sort of three roles here at the university, believe it or not. So first of all, as my title suggests, it's my job to drive the employability agenda right across the institution. And in doing that, what I primarily want to do is make sure that our students and graduates are best equipped to be able to do whatever they want to do, both during their time at Lancaster and after they finish. The second part of my job is heading up the Central Careers and Employability Service, and that's what I'm going to talk about largely in this forthcoming presentation. But we do have two career services at Lancaster. We have the central team that I head up, and we also have another team of career support in our management school. My central team works with all students across the university, so whether you're a management school student or whether you're in one of the other faculties, we will be delighted to work with you. And the third part of my job is I am part of the leadership team for our Student and Education Services division, which spans all the student support we offer outside academic work across the institution. So let me move on to my next slide. Bear with me one moment, please. So what I'd like to talk to you about today, quite briefly, because it's a big topic and we can't cover absolutely everything, but really what we at the university, the whole careers and employability team of people that work to help our students and graduates, is what we aim to do, what our offer constitutes, and a little bit of context about what we offer and why. So what the job market is like out there for students and graduates, particularly in the UK, although we do help our students and graduates get jobs overseas if that's what they want to do. Some of the context around the offer that we have is what graduates and student recruiters are looking for. They can be quite specific in their requirements. So because we want you to be successful after you finish studying with us, we very much reflect on and change and amend and improve our offer to students and graduates so that you have the best possible chance of success in whatever you decide to do next. And I'm going to cover some, can't cover all, but some of the things that we offer here at Lancaster University to help you succeed, as I say, during and when you finish your studies. So I suppose if I had to summarise the aim of the Careers and Employability Service, it's to equip our graduates with the necessary employability skills so you can make informed decisions, and that's absolutely key, as well as competing successfully in what can be a very competitive graduate labour market. So that's what we want to do. Everything we do within careers and employability is geared to helping you individually to succeed at whatever you choose to do. And there's various different ways that we do that. So as you can see by the bullet points on this slide, one thing we do is we work with a lot of different employers, everything from big global companies, Google, Amazon, some of the ones you'll have heard of, to some very small local companies. And we encourage them to come in to give presentations and workshops. So you have that opportunity to engage with employers, know what opportunities are out there, and make the very best possible choice for you. But similarly, we understand that an awfully high proportion of our undergraduate students who come to Lancaster to do a first degree want to go on and do postgraduate study. And we therefore invite other institutions, as well as Lancaster postgraduate departments themselves, to work with us to help you make informed choices if you want to go on to postgraduate study. I think that one of the key things around careers and employability is it's very individual to you. You have your own set of circumstances, what you like, what you don't like. You may not have even started thinking about a career. You might know what you want to do and all stages in between. And that's why we offer a range of individual appointments for you to suit. And I'll talk a little bit about those as we progress through the presentation. We understand, particularly after the pandemic, that you can't always come in and see us. You can't always be on the campus, but you might want to find something else or do some career management outside normal, perhaps working hours, say between 9 and 5. So we have an extensive range of online careers support that you can access 24/7, and I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. We also have a whole range of different activities you can get involved in to improve your employability, to make you more attractive to those recruiters, because you've got various different experiences that you can do around your studies. And they're quite varied, and some of them are unique to Lancaster. So I think it's really important and useful to yourselves that I highlight some of those offers. And the other final thing to mention is we work very closely with our alumni team here at the university. And alumni are those people who've left the university having finished their studies with us. And because we keep in contact with many of our alumni, and we work really hard to do so, those people who have left us and have got jobs or in further study or are doing research, they are a great resource for us in the careers team to come back, work with current students and help them learn about what they're doing, what opportunities are out there, and make those networks and connections so they're better informed to manage their own particular careers. So I'll just move on to my next slide. So as I said to you at the start of the presentation, we're very careful to make sure we understand and we work with student employers and recruiters to know what they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, many of you, not all of you, after you finish your studies with us, might want to get a graduate job. And so we are very mindful about what employers want and how that might change over time. And I suppose the key things that student and graduate recruiters are looking for, in addition to a degree, is evidence that whilst you've been at the university, you've engaged as much as you can, and that varies from person to person, with other activities around your degree programme, i.e. in university life, because by doing so, you'll get all the kind of skills that we mentioned here on this final bullet point that will enable you to either succeed at postgraduate study or be able to succeed more easily at the job of your choice. So the offer that we make to you is all the time we're talking to student and graduate recruiters, finding out what they're looking for and making sure we help you to get that as best as we possibly can. And you'll notice the final point on the slide here, I put circa 40% because it does vary, but many graduate level jobs are filled by students and graduates that have already had some work experience. Indeed, some are in that particular company. So whilst not everybody has the capacity or wants to have work experience whilst they're studying with us, it's really important that we give you every opportunity to do so if you want to. So one of the ways we do that, part of the career service, is we have something called the Employment and Recruitment Service. And the great thing about our Employment and Recruitment Service is you can sign up with it before you become a student here. And indeed, some of the people that we employ through the service aren't students at all. They're local people who are looking for part-time, temporary, casual work. But many students come and study with us, and maybe for financial reasons or because they just enjoy working or they want to get some work experience on their CV, they look to do some part-time work with us whilst they're studying here. And that's what the Employment and Recruitment Service does. It gets opportunities from hiring managers right across the university. So that might be in our accommodation services, it might be in our bars and shops, it might be student ambassadors like we've got on this particular call today. Any different kinds of job on campus and indeed locally, apart from anything academic like teaching posts, will go through the Employment and Recruitment Service. And as I say, you can sign up for that before you come to the university if you want to. So on this slide here, you can see some of the wide ranges of jobs that we have. These are vacancies in the past. They're not current vacancies, but they just give you a little bit of the flavour of some of the jobs that go through the Employment and Recruitment Service. And we're very careful to make sure you don't exceed working too many hours for either your visa compliance regulations or indeed so it doesn't impact detrimentally on your studies. But work experience is good because, as I said previously, student and graduate recruiters like to see that you've had some, and indeed it just gives you additional skills that complement those that you're getting in your degree study programs. So as I say, it's not something you have to do, and you can sign up to be in the Employment and Recruitment Service and look at the jobs that we advertise and decide if there's any that you want to apply for. And indeed, some of the jobs can be very short term. They're not big commitments. So for example, yesterday, we had our flagship autumn careers fair, and this is part of our offer to you as students. And we had 90 employers came to attend, all looking to employ students and graduates. And we had, well, I don't know how many students we had attend yesterday, but it was well over 1,000, probably nearer to. I haven't got the final figures yet. But again, the feedback from them is they like to see that if possible, you've had some kind of employment activities. However, if you were signed up with the Employment and Recruitment Service and worked for us as a student helper on yesterday's fair, it would have only been about 5 or 6 hours work. So the Employment and Recruitment Service offers very flexible jobs from just a few hours to a regular weekly commitment, say of a few hours, if that's something that you wanted to do. But we also have other paid work opportunities here at Lancaster. And one of those, which I'm really proud of, that both careers services offer, the central one and the management school, is our 12-month placement year offer for undergraduate students. So you'll notice if you look at some of our degree offers, some of the degrees are 4 years rather than 3 for undergraduate courses. And that's usually because in the third year of those 4 years, you can take the opportunity to do a paid placement for 12 months. And that work is graduate level work. It's very, very important that we sort of tell you this. It's paid appropriately, and that work will stretch you. It can be related to your study area, but not necessarily. That's entirely up to you. And the career services help you find those vacancies and help you to compete for them. They're not ring-fenced to the university. They are national and international vacancies that we help you compete for. But they can be in a range of organisations, from big companies to small local ones, depending on what you want to do. It's a marvellous offer, in my opinion, because it gives you 12 months work experience. And indeed, some of the recruiters who offer those will either give students who work on those placements years either a shortcut into applying for graduate jobs, and indeed some of them actually get a job offer for when they finish their study as a result of doing the 12-month placement. So I can thoroughly recommend it. Not all of our degree courses yet offer the placement year, but a lot of them do. But doing 12 months of work experience isn't for everybody. Some people want to get a much smaller bite-sized chunk of work experience for maybe just a few weeks. And we've got many examples of that right across the university. And not all of those are managed by the career services. Some of them will be in your departments and in your faculties, and they'll be part of the curriculum, or they'll be additional to the curriculum during vacation time. There's too many of such short-term internships to tell you about in this presentation today. But one example I can give you is one that we have within the career service at the moment, which unfortunately finishes in July next year. But that's not to say in the future there may or there may not be other similar projects, hopefully anyway. And Unite Plus is a project whereby students and graduates can work for small companies locally for 10 weeks. They're paid to do so, and they work on a specific project that grows that particular business. So it could be anything from marketing to web development and various other opportunities. And there's many different opportunities like that across the university if you were to come and study at Lancaster. And this slide here it just gives you a flavour of some of the companies that we work with in the career service and that we work with very proactively, because these companies are not only attractive to our students and graduates in terms of future careers, but they offer great opportunities for yourselves, either while you're studying or after you graduate. And we work hard in the Central Careers team to cultivate relationships with these employers, to advertise, if you like, our students. Not quite sure why that slide moved on without me doing so. It's obviously on the timer. And these are examples of some of the companies that came to the careers fair yesterday, not all of them. But we are very strategic. We target companies that are looking for students and graduates in the degree disciplines that we offer, that offer good salaries, that are good employers. Often they're in the Times Top 100 League, and we make sure we work with ones that we hope will be of interest to yourselves. Okay, now it's ready for the slide to change. So in addition to work experience, there's other things that you can do alongside your degree programme that can really enhance your employability and make you more attractive to graduate recruiters potentially after your studies. Or you can just do it because you want to meet new people and you want to grow your confidence and grow your networks. And one of these is the Lancaster University's Lancaster Award. The Lancaster Award is an extracurricular award. It goes on your degree transcript, but it's not part of your studies. And it's something that we've developed to show employers that you've engaged with other activities whilst you've been here at the university that's made you more employable and grown your skills. And that's been recognised formally. And it's something that you can put on your CV and just give you that little bit extra to help you stand out from the crowd. So you can see here in this picture, we used to have like an additional degree ceremony where people collected their Lancaster Award certificates. Unfortunately, the pandemic ended that, but that doesn't mean you can't get your certificate and your Lancaster Award anyway. And the different kind of things you can do to achieve the Lancaster Award, remember, it's completely outside your degree studies, are work experience, as I've just been talking about. You can do volunteering in the community. There's lots of opportunities locally to do that. You can do campus activities. You may know, or you may not know, that at Lancaster we are a collegiate university. We have 9 colleges, and you might want to be on the college exec, on the management teams, and that will count towards the Lancaster Award. But in the careers and employability services, in both services, we offer a whole range of workshops you can do. Anyone can come to them, they're free, and they're specifically designed to develop your employability skills. And I'll talk a little bit more about them in a moment. But if you do those, they will give you points towards the Lancaster Award. And what we ask for the Lancaster Award is that you do a range of these activities to show that you've developed a number of skills that graduate employers are looking for. And we ask you to record these, to submit them to us. And once you've done that and completed what we call the checklist, we can then give you your Lancaster Award certificate. And as I say, that's something that you can add to your CV. It goes in your degree transcript once you finish studying with us. And it just shows to employers that, as I was talking about at the beginning, when they want to see that you've engaged more widely across the university, well, here you have some tangible evidence that you've done so. Now, in addition to the Lancaster Award, there's other things that the Career Service offers that you can get involved with that develop your employability skills. And there's a whole range of these. And I'm just going to give you a flavour of some of the things that might be of interest to you that we have specifically here at Lancaster University. And remember, all of these are free to you engage with whenever you want to whilst you're studying with us. So the first thing that we do, which I'm proud of all of it, but I'm very proud of the mentoring programme, is we offer a mentoring service to our current students. And the way that works is if you're interested in having a mentor who's normally somebody who studied previously at the university, but not always, who's in a particular job or a particular sector or a particular company that you're interested in working with, we would ask you to apply for the mentoring programme. We would match you up very carefully with a suitable mentor. And for 6 months of the year, between November and June, you would have a mentoring relationship with the mentor we assign to you. That can be as frequent or as infrequent as you want. We have an introductory event in November where you would meet your mentor, which is really fun and relaxed and informal. And then between November and June, your mentor will help you in whatever way you would need in terms of your career. So that might be helping you with your CV, introducing you to people in a particular sector or working environment. It might be helping you develop your online presence, say through LinkedIn, all kinds of different ways. And then at the end of the mentoring program, the relationship is finished, but we give you a certificate to show you've completed it. And if you're signed up for the Lancaster Award, not only have you had the benefit of mentoring for 6 months, but also it counts towards the Lancaster Award. For eligible students, we have something called Grow Your Future. And this is a widening participation programme, and students have to meet certain eligibility criteria, which you can see on our website, and I will post that at the end of the presentation. But Grow Your Future is an additional offer, as I say, for eligible students, where we run additional courses and workshops in various different things like developing leadership, confidence. And you can see the photo on the slide here is we take students who have signed up for the Grow Your Future programme to London and Manchester to visit various different companies to get a flavour and a feel for what it might be like to work in those cities for those particular companies. So I hope you can see on the photo here, but here's one of the years we took the students to the BBC headquarters in London, where they were welcomed, they were shown around, they were talked to what it was like to work at the BBC and those kind of opportunities. So Grow Your Future is a marvellous additional offer. There's also bursaries for interviews, and within that programme we have a psychometric test tutor who can help students do psychometric tests and really excel at those, because they are often part of the job recruitment and selection procedures going forward. I mentioned when I was talking about the Lancaster Award that we run a whole variety of different workshops in careers. They're all available to sign up to online, and they also include the details of them, including when they are, where they're held, whether they're in person or whether they're online. Sometimes they're delivered by our team of very friendly, experienced careers professionals, and sometimes they're delivered by graduate employers who want to come and meet future talent at Lancaster and who are happy to do that through running a workshop. So, for example, we might have a company, I don't know, like TikTok, for example, they might come onto the campus, or they might online deliver a workshop on CV writing. That doesn't mean you've got to want to work for TikTok. It's just a way to learn more about the kind of opportunities they might offer and how to improve your CV at the same time. So you can see this isn't by any means all the workshops that we offer, but there's just a few examples there. And as I say, we've got a psychometric test tutor who will help you, not just our eligible students, but other students as well, to succeed at psychometric tests, because they are part of many job application processes. And many students have never even heard of them, let alone had a go at doing them before they come to university. So we feel in careers it's really important that if you want any additional support in something like that you've never done before, we're able to offer it to you. And the same comment applies for interviews. Some employers now have video interviews as part of the selection process. many students have never done a video interview before they come to university. So we make sure we give you lots of opportunity to practice on us before you do the real thing. As I said right at the start of the presentation, careers information or careers management is absolutely individual to people. Everybody's career interests, stage of planning, personal circumstances, where they want to work really varies. So it's critical that my team and the other careers team offer a whole suite of individual information, advice and guidance appointments for you. We have a system where you can book them online or you can book them in person at our Ask Help desk on the campus. They're private and confidential. As I said, they can be in person or they can be online. And they are everything from asking information to guidance if you don't know what you want to do, right through, as I say, to doing practice one-to-one interviews, tailored interviews. If you've got a particular interview coming up, we can really help you prepare for that. And one thing I think that might be useful for you to know as potential or current students is that a lot of people don't realise that the career service at the moment will help you and offer free advice to you indefinitely after you finish studying with us. So if you wanted to say finish your degree, go off travelling, do a postgraduate course, and then you thought, well, okay, what do I want to do next? I might need a little bit of help. You are welcome to come back to us either in person or online and use the service for absolutely free. And I think that I don't know which other universities offer that, but at the time of this presentation, it's something that we are very proud to offer to our graduates. As I said right at the start of the presentation, we're very aware that you can't always meet with us, you're busy, hopefully enjoying university life. So it's really important that we have, or rather you have at your fingertips, a range of online support that you can access at any time to suit you. And we do that in two particular ways. We have a website that you can probably access externally. I put the address at the end of the presentation if you want to try. And secondly, we have something called our online careers portal, and this is something that we subscribe to. And in our careers portal, not only is there a huge range of information about making career decisions, practicing interviews, CV writing, but lots of information on jobs and job sectors right across the world globally, not just in the UK. And indeed, there are also vacancies on this particular site as well. One thing that it's probably important to tell you about too is we have a lot of graduate employers target Lancaster University with jobs specifically. You know, we're ranked in the top 15 universities in the UK. It makes us very attractive to recruiters looking for future talent. When they come to us with vacancies, we put them all onto our online management system called Careers Connect, which you will see if you went onto our website. And at any time, there are thousands of job vacancies, both part-time current for students, but also for graduate jobs that students can apply for. So it's really important to know that we are targeted by graduate recruiters as well. And just to reiterate, which is something that I mentioned just now, we do offer careers support for life. As I say, we work very closely with our alumni department. So when you finish studying here, we strongly encourage you, as indeed our alumni department do, to stay connected. Many of our careers mentors that I've talked about are alumni and want to give something back to the university, and mentoring is one way they can do that. But of course, our students benefit hugely by that contact. But in the careers team, we often invite our alumni to come back and talk about their experiences in a particular job or in a particular sector, just so that current students can learn about it and think, is it something that they want to do? And if it is, they can then network and connect with them and find out more and manage their career more effectively going forward. You can see on this final slide here that that's our branding. So if you study at Lancaster, if you see Hello Future, it's kind of a sign to say that anything, be it a workshop or an activity, that is something that will help you develop your careers and your employability skills and help you manage your career, your own particular career. And you'll see that branding right across the campus. And indeed, where we hold most of our one-to-one appointments is in something called our Student Services Hub, and you'll notice that the branding is in there as well. I'll put on this slide a link to our careers information online at our careers website. If you're not a current student, you won't be able to see our careers portal, but certainly you would do as a Lancaster student. And again, that careers portal with all that wealth of information is still available to you as graduates too. We just arranged for you to have graduate access. I appreciate that in half an hour, that's a lot of information to give you. And so just before I hand over to Johannes and Chloe to talk about their experiences, if you do have any queries that you think about at a later time or date after today, please do use our email, careers@lancaster.ac.uk. If you send in your query, one of the team, possibly myself, will be absolutely delighted to get back to you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And I'm going to invite Johannes first, if I may, to talk about how you've hopefully benefited from careers and study at Lancaster University, and then perhaps we go on to Chloe afterwards, if that's okay.
Yes, of course, Sarah. Just one question. Can I make one general comment about university before focusing in career area? Is it okay from time perspective? Perfect. First of all, I want to tell to the people that are attending the webinar that Lancaster University is a great place to spend, that you are going to spend 3 years there. Me personally changed my life. I met people from all over the world, and I was in ideal environment in the campus to focus in the studies and be also very social. I was social rep. I participate also in external student competition that was from Google, and we reached semi-finalist position. They gave me leadership award from my department in management school, and these are very few that I want to mention as a general comment. Now, from a career perspective, me coming from Greece and doing my second master degree, I wanted to feel more adjusted. So from the first days, I was speaking first of all to the professors that had these courses that was interesting to me to understand, and then I had a strong support from the career department in LAMS, and then the Lancaster University. I spoke with 5 or 6 different people. I had more than 20 sessions one-to-one. They helped me to excel my LinkedIn profile, to excel my CV, my cover letters, and all of this during the year. And then, because it's very important to find the best chemistry that you need and the energy between the people. Okay, you cannot connect everyone the best. So I found Rose. I hope she is well, wherever she is, that she supported me for like 3 to 4 months after graduating. So after September, with 3 to 4 months, I had constant communication with her because I was trying to land a job in the UK, which finally made it to work in Brighton for a recycling company in as commercial and marketing executive, which changed my life because I stayed for 3 years there, and then it was easier for me that I wanted to return back to Thessaloniki in Greece. And currently, I'm an online strategist in a cloud commerce platform with cloud services company with more than 130 people and 20 million revenue last year. So it was step by step. So you need to build a base that you every step grows you a bit more, and Lancaster was the tipping point for me, so to start changing a better environment. And something very important that you need to ask whoever you know from the career department is to ask for LinkedIn connections. For instance, Adjas, that was in the career department, connected me with more than 10 Greek people, international people that finished similar master degrees, or they landed jobs similar to the ones that I was chasing. So I had the chance to send a message, hi, I'm Ioannis, I'm studying in Lancaster, and everybody is so ready to help you. the community that you are going to join in Lancaster is unbelievable, and it has connections all over the world. So this is one last thing that I wanted to tell, and I'm ready for any question.
Johannes, thank you so much. That's really interesting and really helpful to know. Thank you. I noticed some questions are being typed into the chat, but also answered. So perhaps if we could hand over to Chloe, and then if you've got any questions for Johannes, perhaps if you could type those into the chat, or indeed put a hand up at the end. And then perhaps, Johannes, you could have a look at the chat while Chloe's talking and pick those up afterwards, and the same for yourself, Chloe. Chloe, thank you.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Lovely to speak to you all today. So my journey was a little bit different to Iannis's in that I did my undergraduate degree at Lancaster. So prior to going to Lancaster, I kind of knew what job I wanted to do, as many lawyers do, because it's quite a structured pathway. So I started my LLB in 2007 and graduated in 2010. And I was in the County College in Lancaster. And I can't echo enough what Sarah and Iannis has said about the collegiate spirit at Lancaster and how welcome you are immediately. And it's the college system that really does that. When I started at Lancaster, I think I was very, very aware that I was going into a very competitive industry. A lawyer, I didn't know any lawyers, I didn't know a whole deal about the legal profession, but I found it very interesting and very intriguing. So I set out from the off really to ensure that I got as much work experience as I could do whilst I was studying at different law firms, at different barristers' chambers. And Lancaster helped me throughout that process in telling me what I needed to do, connecting me with relevant people to speak to. And without that, I think I would have really, really struggled to kind of understand what to do next. The other thing Sarah mentioned, which was really pinnacle in my experience at Lancaster, was getting involved in extracurricular activities. Because when you are applying for those really competitive jobs at big law firms, they expect more than just a 2-1 degree from a good university. And the things that set candidates aside are often the things they do outside of the core academic studies. So for me at Lancaster, there was a whole host of things that I could get involved in, which I found really, really enjoyable. And the two things that probably were the best examples of things that I did whilst I was at Lancaster was being on the Junior Common Room Executive. So each college has a Junior Common Room Executive, and there's a team of people who assist in administering those duties. So in my first year, I was the social secretary for the county college, and I organised all the Christmas parties, summer parties, extravaganzas, which I've got very, very fond memories of. And then after that, I was the president of the college and sat on the university committees as well. So that gave me a real insight as to how to conduct myself at different types of meetings, how to argue a point, how to be persuasive. And those are things that in my job now I do on a day-to-day basis. Really, really enjoyed my time at Lancaster on the JCR. And then the second activity that I got heavily involved in was the University Netball Club. So I played on the University Netball team. That built loads of teamwork and team building skills for myself, and also made me a great and a separate friendship group, not only outside my friendship group within my college and with the netball team and with my discipline in the law school as well. And at Lancaster, each discipline tends to have societies linked to the discipline. So I was also a member of the Law Society and did lots of mooting and negotiating whilst I was there. And it certainly set me up to have a good start in my career. So I came out of university in the I was going to say the pandemic, not the pandemic, in the recession. So it was difficult to get a job, and it was difficult to enrol on postgraduate courses. And Lancaster helped me in making sure my application was as strong as it could be, to initially register on the bar course to qualify to be a barrister, and then I later cross qualified to be a solicitor. And I'm now working at Evershed Sutherland in Manchester, which is a global law firm, so it's offices all around Europe and overseas as well. And I'm an employment lawyer, and I've been doing that job for about coming up to 10 years now. So that's a kind of whistle stop tour, because I appreciate we don't have a lot of time, but I'm more than happy to take any questions that you have about my journey or where I am now.
Chloe, thank you. That's great. Any questions for Chloe? That'd be wonderful, and just post them in the chat. Johannes, I noticed you just posted a presentation in the chat. Do you want to say a few words about what you posted there, so people know what to look at?
Yes, of course. This is a presentation that I did in an open postgraduate day in Lancaster, which includes all the steps that someone can find out how it can be a full year in Lancaster, because I did a postgraduate, but it's very relevant also for undergraduate people. So inside there, you will see some key things about the day-to-day, about some courses, some social perspective, which me as a social rep, that was a key thing for me to do. And I will advise someone to have a look. It will take 3-4 minutes to skim it through.
Thank you very much. I shall watch it
myself
afterwards.
Sorry,
Oh,
Sarah, I was just going to say that's a really good idea to share LinkedIn details if anyone has any questions for us after the event.
Yeah, really good idea. Thank you both. I noticed we've got some more comments and questions, which I'll come to in a second. But just to go back, I've just had a quick look at the chat, and I noticed Ritesh Patel, thank you for your question, that Sophie's answered brilliantly here about how much support is actually given during your studies. One thing I'd like to add, which Sophie can't know about because it's a very new thing, we've had a little bit of a sort of rearrangement, if you like, within the Central Careers team. And what we now have is we have a careers consultant specifically assigned to each faculty. So we have one for our arts and social sciences faculty, one for our science and technology faculty, and one for our health and medicine faculty. And obviously we have a careers team for the management school, the fourth faculty at the university. But what those careers consultants have done now this last year is they've looked very closely at the provision for all the different degree courses within each of those faculties. So, for example, they might have looked at the physics program within the science and technology faculty to see what is actually being offered in terms of careers and employability in the curriculum in those degree programs. And what they've now done is they have totally rewritten the in-curricular offer for every degree in those three faculties across the university to make it much more tailored and much more specific to those particular degree subjects in those particular faculties. So we now have a whole new program of career management learning that students can actually decide if they want to do a particular workshop or a particular session rather than having it bolted into the curriculum, because one size doesn't fit all. So a student, for example, doing a psychology program might know exactly what they want to do and want to follow a particular path. Another student might be doing psychology because they love the subject but have absolutely no idea. But now they can look at the program for that particular faculty and department and say, this is what I need. I either need a workshop on career options with a psychology degree, or they want to know how to write a CV for a particular vacancy. So that's just an additional answer to that particular question. I'm just having a quick look down at the questions here about what would you recommend during your time at university, such as extracurricular and also additional work. There's a really good answer to that question already. Thank you, Chloe. But I think the other thing I would just sort of add in support of what Chloe has said, there's not only is there a huge choice, but pretty much everything you do will in some way support your employability and the skills towards getting a job, be it a sport, be it a particular society. Just by participating and meeting new people and growing your confidence and your networks, all of that is the kind of things that graduate recruiters are looking for, or indeed will help you to go on and do postgraduate study in the future. So it's not always easy. Some people do find that it's very hard to do anything above and beyond their studies. That's okay. But if you can just do maybe one thing on top of your studies, hopefully you'll really enjoy it, and it will just give you a little extra dimension to talk about in the future at interview, in CVs, and grow your confidence as well. Is there anything else, Johannes and Chloe, you would like to add? Because you've had such great experiences since you've graduated. Is there anything else you thought of that you'd like to add to the participants today?
Chloe, can I speak?
Sure.
Cool. Well, one last thing is like to try to find it's okay not to know exactly what will be your next path. So try to explore yourself day to day by speaking to people, either that you know or unknown. This is so important to understand what are you made of. So you try to see what are your skills, what are your strengths, and try to focus on this and see you have plenty of time as an undergraduate student to fill your CV and fill your experiences, so you can be much more ready to apply to a job that you really like as a first step after your career. So don't worry, just be a commando mode and try to walk in this path. Everything will be okay, and everything comes to the right time. I struggled a lot. I spent 5 months after the graduation to land my first job in the UK, but I was very determined, and I had people that supported me from Lancaster for this important step of my life, coming from Greece and being a non-native speaker. So best of luck and best of wishes.
I think
I
that's
second that.
I've heard
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, there we go. It's
Yes.
really about getting stuck in and making connections. And I'll second the point that Ioannis made about not knowing what's going to happen, because you don't. I think I came out of Lancaster thinking the only job I wanted was to be a barrister, and I've ended up being a solicitor at a global law firm that I would never have expected to have worked for. And I'm really happy that I ended up where I did. So I just think you don't know which way it's going to go, but if you keep going, it usually ends up in a good place.
Yeah, I agree. Be open to the opportunities. That was wonderful. Thank you both so much. I don't know whether Sarah's still in the room. Sarah's posted a note in the chat that the next session is about to start, International Student Q&A, or Sports and Societies. I'm just going to see if Sarah's here and she wants to wrap up the session. If not, I'll do so.
I am here and I'm happy to wrap up. I just want to say a huge thank you to you all. So thank you very much, Sarah, for your presentation, and thank you so much to Ioannis and Chloe for sharing your experiences and your advice with everybody here today. I very much appreciated it, and I'm sure all of our attendees also found it really helpful. So thank you very much for your time. If anybody does have any further questions, please do contact us. Enjoy the rest of the sessions that are on today, and we have our UniBuddy Q&A session taking place tomorrow. So if there's anything additional that you think of and you come back, please do join us again on Friday, and we'll try our best to answer your questions. Thank you all so much, and everybody, I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the session.